So children, continue with the topic. I have told in the last class that what are the factors that will not affect the vertical column. That is what? Shape and size of tube, and what else? So the shape and size of tube is not changing the height of the vertical column. What more is there? Length of tube. Whatever length of tube you are taking, the mercury will settle down at 76 centimeter only. Now taking the next article, why water is not used in a barometer. Why water is not used in barometer. See, if you take the atmospheric pressure, this is 10 to the 5 pascals. And 5 pascals, and one formula you remember, P is equal to H D or H rho G. H is what? That you have to calculate. HW. Density of water is 1000 gram per 1000 kilogram per meter cube. G is, let us take it as 10 only, or 9.81. Let us take 9.81. If you do this, you will find that height of water comes out to be 10.34 meter. This is what? This is the height of water column. That means the height of water column you will require to make a barometer which contains water, or we can say water barometer. A simple barometer containing water. That will be too much. 10.34 meter. Now children, can you imagine that having a 10.34 meter tube like this? Suppose this is, I'm drawing it like this big. Not this is not comparative. I cannot draw it on the board, but this big. Okay, like this. This is compared to, suppose I'm drawing a big, then also. Yes, here the contrast. That means if with 100 centimeter only, 1 meter is, that means this is 1 meter. This is how much? 10.34 meter. Or more than 10 times. So that much big tube is very difficult to manage and carry. That is one reason. One more reason is that water is easily evaporating under the vacuum conditions. You remember what that vacuum, Torresian vacuum that was created. So in this vacuum, water will easily evaporate, and again the vapors of the water formed will be having what? Will exert pressure on this column, and faulty reading, that means false atmospheric pressure will be recorded. Okay? So these are the two reasons. Now you understand? So I could have told you the other way also, but now I'm telling this. Now there are reasons why mercury is used. Why mercury is used in the barometer. Why mercury is used. First thing, see, density of mercury is, now children, with this much density, can we say that H of Hg, that means height of the column of the height of the tube required will be very less? That means with less height of the tube only, because density is more. So the height required for the mercury column will be less. So what happens then? What happens is that mercury is compact, too much densities. That's why with smaller height of the tube we can make the barometer. That is one thing. Second is what? One more thing. Mercury is not vaporizing. So one defect of water was that was less density. So it is requiring a large column height. Second is what? Doesn't vaporize. Does not vaporize under vacuum. So if it is not vaporizing under vacuum conditions, then what will happen? There will be no bubbles or vapors of the mercury formed in the torricellian vacuum. So no pressure will be exerted on the mercury column, thus giving rise to a faulty reading. Third reason is what? Also, if you remember about cohesive and adhesive forces, mercury does not wet the sides of glass tube. So, doesn't wet sides of glass tube. See how? Suppose I am drawing a glass tube like this. Mercury, it is not like that. Mercury will stick like this. This is not happening. Water will do this behavior. Water molecules have high adhesive forces compared to unlike mercury. So this will not stick to glass tubes. What will happen? That means you will be in doubt that whether this reading you will take or this reading you will take. Got it? So this is not with mercury. So mercury is not wetting the sides of glass tube. So what happens? So we can easily record the correct reading. Then what? You have seen that one more criteria was that easily obtained. Mercury can be easily obtained in pure and dry state. Easily obtained in pure and dry, because impurities will cause or show a false pressure. Pure and dry state. That was one more thing I told. There should not be damping. If damping is there, problem will be there. That means what? Again, water will form vapors. Now, this was simple parameter, so we were using this. But there are also still defects in that mercury parameter, simple parameter. Defects of simple mercury parameter. Now, what are those defects? See, the defects of simple mercury parameter will be what? First, don't you feel that it is in an arrangement like this? When I have mercury like this. So don't you feel that chance of spilling is there and the stability of this portion? That means it is not portability. So portability issue is there. It is not portable. Portable, mobility, all these issues are there. Because while taking the mercury and carrying this barometer, mercury might spill and this tube might bend, or we can say may come out of that mercury, this trough only, or this. Then again, glass, because everywhere glass is there, so chances of breaking is there. Chances of breaking. Glass, suppose it is somewhere malhandling is there, mishandling is there, it may break. Third part. What is the third part? That is the only thing. And one more thing is there. Since mercury level rises up and down, find it. Since mercury level is rising up and down with the change in atmospheric pressure, so see here, H of Hg is such that it is counterbalancing to what? Atmospheric pressure. So mercury level keep on fluctuating. That's why we cannot have a permanent scale here on the glass. So we cannot mark a permanent scale on the glass. These are the three things. What is that? Mobility or portability is not possible. With this, mercury might spill. Then it is made of glass. Because of glass, what will happen? It might break easily. Then since the level of the mercury changes with the change in the atmospheric pressure, so there is not possible to mark a permanent scale. Then to improve or to make an improvement upon these defects, few more parameters are designed that are called as Fortin's and Aneroid parameter. We need not study more about this. And aneroid. This is your dry barometer, not using any liquid, only based on the spring arrangement. You will have a more detail about this in class 9. And Fortis barometer is what? Fortis barometer is only all the defects of the mercury barometer are included in this. And aneroid barometer is not containing any liquid only. It's dry, only some diaphragm is there and levers are there. With the help of diaphragm and levers, the pressure is recorded, and it is made very sensitive also. Okay. So dry it is. So we will not. Now next is lift pump. Lift pump. Lift pump or common water pump. How is it functioning? See what pressure is there? What is the principle? Principle is that 10.34 meter of water column can be supported by the pressure. 10.34 meter of water column can be supported. Supported with what? Supported with the existing atmospheric pressure. So whatever pressure is acting on the atmosphere, that can cause a height of how much? 10.34 meter of the mercury, this water column to withstand. That means that much height can be supported. Then only two cylindrical iron tubes are there, A and B, and one tube has got larger diameter than other. Basically your hand pump, that is having a lift pump. This is the bottom portion. And see here only one piston is there, and this is the cylinder. This is the rod that comes out of it, and this is only connected to what? Handle, and the handle is supported here. Okay, then we are having walls. Here a wall is there, a V1, and here also a wall is there, V2. V is called as foot wall, and this is called as, since this is cylinder and this is piston, this is called as piston wall. If you remember, this is your handle. Then what? Obviously this is a piston only, and that too airtight piston. What more parts are there? And see, this is the ground. And see on this what is acting? Atmospheric pressure. Now, because of this atmospheric pressure only, what happens is that water columns 10.34 meter is supported, and to counterbalance this. Now see, I will not explain the working just now. That will take in a different class because you need time for that. Now see, if you are operating the handle like this, basically you are creating a low pressure inside this. That means vacuum you are creating or low pressure. So to counterbalance that low pressure, this water from the ground will rise up and this wall will be open. This opens in the upward direction only. Once the water is moved up, this wall closes so that the water doesn't go down. I'm giving a summary only. Then what happens? With this, when this wall is closed, this wall opens and then what happens? This water will come out. Okay. So, this is the condition. Principle I have told. So, initially is what? First case of step 1. V1 and V2 are closed. V1 and V2 are closed. That means what? Both the walls are closed when initially condition. Then second case is what? Second case is what? Now, when this piston is moving upward, can we say it will sweep out the air? That means air will come out, and once air comes out, what will happen? There is a low pressure created. That means pressure inside the cylinder will fall. Which tube? I said that 2 tubes, A and B. So this is the smaller tube B and this is the tube A. So inside tube A, pressure falls. Obviously, we are swapping out the air, so pressure will fall. What I had said. And since the pressure falls, what will happen? This wall V1 will be set open. And why? Because of the tremendous atmospheric pressure. To counterbalance the external atmospheric pressure, the water from the ground level will be pushing up and it will open the wall V1. See, in the first case, V1 will closed. But when you are moving this handle, what will happen? This will sweep out the air. And what will happen? A low pressure is created in the A. Then what will happen? This is working only. Now I'm telling in detail. So what will happen? Because later it will not be helpful to do things when I told the concept now only. Now, so what will happen when you are swiping out the air? What will happen? There is a low pressure created in the tube A. Then what will happen? Because of that, wall V1 opens, and to counterbalance the external atmospheric pressure, the water on the ground level will move up, and wall V1 opens, and the water rushes into the tube from B to A. And then till what time the water will move? So till all the base of it has filled with water, till that time water will keep on flowing. Because there is piston, above the piston water cannot go. Then what is the step 3? See here. Step 3 is when the piston is lowered. Now, when this piston is moving downwards, so here piston was moving upwards. Now piston is moving downwards. So when the piston is moving downwards, what will happen? Then this movement of the piston downwards will cause V2 to open, and V1 is still closed because it is having the weight of the water there. So V2 will be opening and water will be coming out through this. That means at this time what will happen? V2 is open and V1 is closed. So when you are lowering the piston, since water is trapped now, it cannot go outside. So this water only causes what? So this water only causes pressure on the wall V2 and sets it open. Since water cannot go down, it will go down and back. Because why? Because wall V1 is closed. So V1 is closed and V2 is set open. How is it set? It is set open? It is set open because of the pressure of the water. Water is trapped now. Okay. And then fourth part is what? Now when you are moving, now it is trapped. So what? V2 is now open, and then what happens? And then when piston is moving upwards, again piston is moving upwards. So the fourth step, if the piston is moved upwards, what happens? Then this water is raising all this level. So through the spout, this is the spout. This water moves above, and through the spout, water comes out. And when the water comes out, what happens? Again, the pressure falls. So what will happen then? Again, the pressure falls. So again, the water will be raised up. V1 will be opening. Once this water has come out, pressure again falls. To counterbalance the pressure, only water has come up. So again, pressure has fallen. So what happens then? The water will again rise up, and same process is repeated again. Clear now? I am explaining once again. See first. First, the wall V1 and V2 are closed. Clear? This is called the foot wall. This is the piston wall. Then what happens? When you are moving the handle up and down and swiping the air, then what happens? Wall V2 being still closed, wall V1 sets open. Why? Because you are swiping out the air, the pressure inside the tube A lowers, and to counterbalance or to make up for that loss in pressure, water from the ground level will rise through the tube B and move into tube A, and the pressure of water causes V1 to open. So V1 will open in the upward direction only. Okay. So what happens? Water is filled in here. And what happens then? So we are moving the piston upward. What happens? V2 is closed and V1 is open. So because of the loss of pressure, the lower pressure, water comes inside here. Then when you move the piston downward, what happens then? Then V2 is open now. Why? V2 is open because of the pressure of the water itself. Water exerts pressure. It is locked. Why? Because V1 is closed by the weight of the water itself, and V2 is open. So the pressure exerted by the water on the wall V2 causes it to open. And then when you move the piston upwards, then what happens? Through the spout, water comes out. And once the water comes out to the spout, what happens is again pressure falls inside this one, and then tremendous pressure is on wall V1 and V2. So again water will rise up through V1, and the same process is repeated again and again. This completes your exercise in this theoretical explanation portion, and I will be sending you the question answers